having an awesome day. Mrs. Ryan here. Today, we need 3 things. First, we need to make sure that we have our perspectives journal. So make sure you have that. We need a sharpened pencil. Make sure it's well sharpened so we can fit more information into this web we're going to be working on. Since I'm making this video for you, I've learned that pencil doesn't really show that well in a video, so I'll be using this erasable pen because we're bound to make mistakes, right? The third thing you need is your copy of the Ransom of Red Chief. Mine has all these highlights on it from when we did the Vocab Madness challenges. So those are the 3 things you need. Ransom of Red Chief, sharpened pencil, and your journal. Inside of our journal, we are going to be focusing on pages 7 and 8. Page 7 is a helper chart, which is going to aid us and explain to us how we actually complete page 8. So that's very nice. Our goal today is going to just be to get this started. We're not gonna finish it. It's a 2-day process, so don't fret. We're just gonna start this today. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip around my camera and we'll get started. All right, here we go. We have our helper chart on page 7 and our literature web for Ransom of Red Chief on page 8. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 web boxes here and the title. I guess that could count. We should probably start there. Go ahead and make sure you put the title of our story, which is, well, it's actually The Ransom, not just Ransom. The Ransom of Red Chief. Make sure that you capitalize your title appropriately. The T, the R, and the C. So make sure you capitalize those. So The Ransom of Red Chief, that is our story. Well, we have keywords, feelings, ideas, images and symbols, and structure. So we have a lot of different categories going on. I say we just start with keywords since that's right here. All right, so keywords. Let's see. This reads, what are some of the words or phrases you really like or think are important? So that's one question. There's one question right here. What are some of the words or phrases you really like or think are important? The second question is, there's 2 of them in here. Which words do you think are interesting, exciting, or funny? Oh man, they got a third question in there. Why do you think the author uses those particular expressions? All right, so we're going to work on filling out this keyword box together. So question 1, what are some of the words or phrases you really like or think are important? Well, I know that we all probably have different ideas, so I'll share with you some of my ideas. And if you want to use those, you can. If you want to change them to match your own ideas or your own thoughts, that's fine too. So some of the words or phrases that really stuck out to me, one of those was lackadaisical. Right here on the front page, that just really stuck out to me because it sounds like a silly word. So I'm going to put a bullet point right here, and I'm going to write lackadaisical. Yeah. It's nice to have this out so I can make sure I spelled it right. I think that lackadaisical, is a word that I really like. I like it. I think that it's funny. I think that it's interesting. It sounds like gibberish. It almost sounds like a made-up word. So I'm going to write that. That's my answer to the next question. Which word do you think, do I think that they're interesting, exciting? Why do I think that they use that word? So I'm going to put this word, to me, sounds like gibberish. And gibberish is a word. And I think that the author uses the word to be descriptive. The author uses this word to be descriptive. Now, I almost wrote too large because I want to try to make sure I at least get 2 or 3 examples. So I'm going to kind of go like this. Doop, doop, doop. Doop, doop, doop. I'm going to do that. So tomorrow, when we're working together in class, we could start writing here together. Maybe we could fit 2 or 3 more. So you can pause this if you want to use or piggyback off of what I wrote here. Otherwise, if you want to come up with your own word and explain why you think it was interesting and why the author uses it, go for it. All right, let's go ahead and look at ideas. Ideas. This reads, what is the main idea of the story? Well, there could be lots of ideas for the story, right? So we have to make sure we somehow answer that. Are there other ideas the author seems to share? What is he saying about perspective? How do you know? Support your answers with evidence from the text. Ooh. Well, a feeling, oh my goodness, that's an idea. I have to put ideas here. I'm so silly. I was reading this and thought it went to this one. Ha! All right, that's fine. Jump to ideas. I think that there's a lot of ideas going on out here, right? I think that one idea is kind of karma. Have you heard of karma? It's that idea that if you do good things will come to you. But if you do bad things will come to you. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to put that one of the main ideas is that if you're kind, you'll receive kindness. If you're bad, you'll be punished. The reason why I think this is because the kidnappers are trying to do something bad, right? They are kidnapping a child for ransom. They're trying to make money off of stealing a kid. But in the end, they were really tortured because this child was just crazy and he was just a bad kid, right? He drove us bananas. So they decided to do something bad and they were punished for it. So I think that's one of the main ideas. If it says what are some other ideas, we can talk about those tomorrow and we can add other ideas. So other ideas. And I'm sure you have lots of other ideas that you can think of. So we'll pick up back on that tomorrow. Now let's move on to feelings, the one I thought we were going to do, right? Feelings. So let's go over to feelings. What feelings did you get when you read the story? What words or events in the story gave you those feelings? How do you think the characters feel during those times or events? Woo! All right, so we really need to explain ourselves here, right? For feelings. Well, I don't know about you, but one of the feelings that I got as I was reading the story was, humor. I thought it was humorous, especially when the kid who they kidnapped was torturing the kidnappers, Bill and Sam. I just thought that was funny. So for my feelings, because we want to make sure we can fit a lot of these. Remember, we have to write small. I'm going to put humorous. Humorous. That's an O. That's an R. That's an O. That's a U. That's an S. Can you read that? Maybe I should rewrite it for you. Humorous. Like that. Humorous. And it says, what words or events in the story gave you those feelings? That means that I need to be descriptive. Maybe I can even quote the text a little bit. So something in here that just cracked me up was when the boy put up a fight like a welterweight cinnamon bear. I just thought that was kind of silly sounding. That means that the boy really fought, right? He fought hard. He was like, fight, fight, fight. So I'm going to quote that. I'm going to put, the boy put up a fight. Like a welterweight cinnamon bear. And because this isn't the end of the quote, because we don't have the space to write the whole quote, we're just going to go dot, dot, dot. And that just shows us that this quote really goes on, but we just think this part's funny. Maybe you thought the part was funny when the boy was riding Bill like a hoss, right? That part's funny too. Like, I want to ride my hoss. So maybe you would like to put that there instead. Now, the feelings goes on, right? Because there's multiple questions. This says, how do you think the characters feel during those events? Well, I think that the kidnappers feel pain, right? Because they're getting beat up. But I think that the kid is probably entertained because he thinks it's a game. So, because we're not writing in complete sentences here, because it's just a web, right? It's just where we put ideas. So we don't have to write in complete sentences. I'm going to put kidnappers equal, they feel pain. Can I fit that here? I'm going to try. They feel pain, right? Because they're getting beat up. But the kid, I'm going to put the kid, he's excited. He's excited, having fun. So I'm going to just do this a little bit. That way tomorrow, or today if you have time, you can add in another example. Another feeling that you get when you, a feeling you got, I guess I should say, when you read The Ransom of Red Chief. And maybe a little quote about it. And then how the characters felt. Awesome. We're doing really well. So far, we've already given at least one example of keywords, ideas, and feelings. Wow. Maybe we should just, let's just do one more because we're on a roll. It looks like we're going counterclockwise. So let's do structure. Structure. Ooh, look at this. There's a lot going on in structure. This reads, what are some characteristics of the way this story is written? What are some characteristics of the way this story is written? Do you feel dialogue is important to the story? Remember, dialogue is anything that is in quotations, right? It's when our characters are speaking. This is one of our vocab terms, dialogue. So do you think it's important that there's dialogue in the story? Why or why not? What does it tell you about each character? Why is the setting important? How can the setting change the reader's perspective of the story overall? Oh, man. We have a lot packed into this question, right? There's a lot packed in there. So let's just start us off a bit. You don't have to do this, but I'm not very good personally at writing all the way across in a straight line. So I'm just going to split my box in half. I'm going to try to write a couple things on this side and then a couple on this side. All right. So we have a lot going on here. Let's see. What are some of the characteristics of the way this story is written? Well, I guess you could say this is in third person, right? Third person point of view. Third person. I mean, we can just put POV for point of view. And it's Sam's point of view. From Sam's, I'm going to fit this POV right here, everyone. POV. It's from Sam's POV. Point of view. What are some other characteristics of this story? There was a lot of dialogue. I know it mentions that in here, but I think that's important. So let's point out that this story was heavy on dialogue, right? That means that there was a lot of dialogue going on in the story, and there really was. I mean, the front page is more of like setting up the scene, right? But after you open up the first page, There's dialogue all over the place. The characters are just talking back and forth and back and forth. Let's see. Do I think that the dialogue was important? Well, this is your opinion, right? My opinion is that the dialogue was important. Why or why not? Well, let's just get started with yes, dialogue is important. Now, why do we think that? Why do we think that dialogue is important in this story? Well, I think that it's important because it lets us know how each of the characters truly feel, because the characters are sharing their feelings. I think it also shows that maybe they're not well educated because their grammar is not great. So I'm going to put that in there. Yes, dialogue is important. I'm just going to use an arrow because remember, this is just a web. We're just adding in information. It doesn't have to be in sentence form. So yes, dialogue is important. I think that because, what did I say, everyone? I already forgot. It shows the character's feelings. And it teaches us, or the reader, it teaches the reader that they aren't well educated. They aren't well educated. I'll leave that there for a second, but I'm sure you're probably just hitting pause when you need to. Awesome. So I think that we could probably pick up right here tomorrow. It says, what does it tell you about each character and his or her own perspective on the dilemma? I'm just going to circle this what question so I remember where I left off. And when we're in class tomorrow, whether you're with Mrs. Steinley, Mrs. Walker, or myself, this is where we'll pick up on structure. Awesome. I hope that you guys were able to follow along. I know I can be a little silly. That just leaves us tomorrow with coming up with at least one or two more examples here. There's a couple questions we'll want to answer here for ideas. We finished half of our structure, so that's fantastic. And then we'll complete our images and symbols. Great work, everyone. Thank you so much for your willingness to learn remotely. I know that it is a lot of work. It does take a lot of patience and focus on your end. So we appreciate it very much. I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.